All right, Fireside family, welcome to the next tutorial. This is how to set up and operate the projection screen and the projector, both in a situation where you're using audio and when you're not using audio. So first and foremost, we're gonna get out our projection screen. The one that we send most often with you will be this Lite tripod 8x8 foot projection screen. You're gonna unzipper this protective sleeve and remove that. Next step is going to be to set it upright, and you're going to want to release the actual screen from the stand. Now, in order to do that, you're going to need to telescope the stand up and out, and it will now release that from that pivot point. You'll go ahead, you'll get the stand on the ground and spin that pivot around so that now your screen is horizontal to the ground. Now, there's a little kickstand point on the very bottom of this tripod. If you can see it in the top-down screen. See that kickstand right there. You're gonna wanna tap that with your toe, and that should allow for that tripod to come out. And just go ahead, set that into place. And at this point, you can maybe bring this top down to help yourself out a little bit. And then you will raise up the screen and connect it in to the top. Now, there's a second setting that you can use if you have an audience that is actually downstage from you. So if you're setting this up on a stage and you want to angle it down a little bit, you can bring this back out and you can pull out from the top here an extendable bar that will allow you to angle the view of this projection screen. Again, if you're on stage and you want to have that downward angle, that's for you. In this case, and in most situations here at Fireside, we're just going to be straight on, so we can just go like that. At this point, it's probably best to start setting up your projector. You're going to need to make some adjustments to this at some point once you get your projector up and running. But for right now, let's leave it like this, and we'll get that projector going. We're gonna set up our projection screens, or our projector rather, on a 4-foot foldable table. What's really nice about this is it gives you some wiggle room to work with. I'm gonna start out low. Our short projector does have a very wide and high throw. So you really, lower is probably where you're going to want to be. Sometimes we even set our projectors up on the floor, but we're gonna show you right now how to do it on the table. This table can raise up 2 notches higher, but again, I think for this application, we're just going to go with the lowest setting. Now, we use these tablecloths for our DJ booths all the time, and they actually work perfectly in this scenario because there's gonna be a gap on this side, which will allow you to access all of your cables very easily. And then on the front side, where your audience is, your guests are, you're going to be able to keep that nice and clean with a closed side. It's a BenQ short throw projector, 3000 watts, or lumens rather. It's a nice little projector. Not super high powered, but it gets the job done. We're gonna take out our IEC cable. We'll leave that VGA cable in there because we're gonna be utilizing HDMI 99% of the time. We can thread this HDMI cable through this opening. Now, super important thing to know about our projectors, and any projector for that matter, with a lamp. This is a lamp operated projector. Lamps take a long time to warm up, to power up. So you're gonna wanna get that power to them using your red backpack as early as possible because it takes a little bit of time. And we will plug that in. And then we'll go ahead and turn it on. Power button right here, you're gonna press it, and you'll see the power display right here. More often than not, the first time you press it, that power display will flash red. That's okay. That just means that it's not ready to warm up yet. But look at that, second time, it starts flashing green. That means it's now good to go and start going into action. Very cool. So at this point, your screen is set up, your projector is starting to warm up, and here is arguably the most tricky part. We need to focus this projector and its image into this frame so that It fills out the frame, it doesn't spill out over the edges, and you get as much picture as possible in as clean of a scenario as you possibly can. So right now you can see, right, the image is too small. Now, like all things lighting, and video is very much a lighting element, if you move further back, that image is going to become bigger. So if you see a small screen there, you're going to want to pull your image back. And you can see right now, as I'm doing that, it's starting to grow. Something else that you want to do, and something I highly recommend before getting too deep into this, you want to make sure that this screen is perpendicular to the beam angle of your projector. So if you can imagine a line coming from your projector and running into your screen, you want to have a complete right angle here. So I'll be honest, I'm looking at my screen right now, and it looks a little bit, when this is at rest, like that end is pushed back just a little bit. So to make my life easier and this focusing process easier, I'm now going to orient this screen just a little bit forward from the right-hand side. So I really recommend doing that. So you basically want the screen, again, to be perpendicular to not just the beam angle of the projector, but also, if you can imagine, the vision of your audience, an audience member just that is center to the screen. You want their eye line to be hitting this at a right angle. I just made that adjustment. Hopefully it's gonna make our lives a lot easier with our actual projector. So, likewise, you want to make sure as you set your projector up that you are also maintaining that right angle and that direct perpendicular line of sight. Okay, so what I personally do to start, I'm gonna keystone first. We have these quick and easy keystone buttons on the projector right here on either side, top and bottom of this mode and enter button. So these are our keystone buttons, and as you press it, you can see on the screen that it's actually changing the orientation, the keystone nature of that image. And what I did right there, you can really just pay attention to those side angles, those the sides of the image, and you want to make them parallel to the sides of the frame. We just did a really good job of doing that. It's very close. We're going to make some more minor adjustments as we move along here. Now, another thing I'm going to do, focus. There is a focus wheel that's right here on top of the lens, and you can see that that BenQ image is out of focus. We're going to spin this wheel until it gets into focus. There we go, very sharp, very crisp. Now, as you can see, the BenQ label is backwards. That means that our orientation in the inner settings is incorrect for this application. So we're gonna wanna go into our menu. The menu is the top left button up here on the top of the projector. You'll hit that, and again, as you can see, all of these things will be reversed as well. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but you're going to toggle through until you get to basic system setup basic. So it is in this orientation, the fourth from the right, the third from the left, and then you're gonna go down to projector position. Right now in reverse, it says rear table. So again, this would be the setting that you'd want this to be in if you were rear projecting on a table. So we'll go toggle through this. Now we've got rear ceiling. This would be if it were hanging from the ceiling and in rear projection mode. And then one more, front ceiling. So you're again hanging from the ceiling, but from the front. And finally, here's where we wanna be at. Front table. This is exactly where we are. So now you're set. You'll hit that exit button, which is the menu button as well, and you will head back out, and we are in the correct orientation. We've got the right orientation, we've got a sharp image, and things are looking good. Now, we need to fill out this frame. So, you can tell, we need more height, we need more depth. We can see that there's image up there on the ceiling, as well as underneath the screen right there. So in order to do this, we are going to lower this part first until we don't see any light back here against the wall. So to start with that, maybe come over on this side, we're going to loosen this locking mechanism right there, and we are going to pull out this and scroll down until we get, I'm actually just going to take it to the next hole for now. Where are you? Oh wow, that's really far down. Okay, I'm scratch that. I'm going to go back, and again, we're going to take it to where there's no other white on the wall. Now, same deal, opposite direction. We want to get that light off of the ceiling, which is up here. So we're going to raise this up until there's no more light on the ceiling. There's one step there, two steps there. Let's see if we can make it without hitting our top camera. I want to move this a hair forward. Oh no, we're hitting our top camera. All right, well, we're going to need to make some adjustments out there in the field. will stay right there. Okay. All right. Let's head on back. Our vertical is now much more fitted. Things are looking good. Again, definitely a very challenging setup here, but we're gonna make it work. Now, we're gonna stay right here, and I'll tell you why. There are those sidebars on the left and right, but odds are the video that we're going to end up playing is going to be in widescreen format. So more often than not, what's gonna end up happening is we're going to have a wide angle, but we're actually gonna scrunch this down. So we're gonna pause right there, and we're gonna go ahead and set up our AV booth at this time and get our video source running in to our projector. I'm gonna do, for the sake of space, because there's not a lot in here, I'm going to consolidate our AV booth right here on the table with our projector. But in normal circumstances, we would want you to be setting up an AV booth with a separate 4-foot table and linen, someplace tucked away off to the side of the projection screen, in a place where you are not distracting to the audience. We'll always have a computer set up for you, preloaded with the video that you will need to play. So go ahead, open that up, get it powered on with a power cable so that it does not die at any point, and then we'll get it plugged in to our projector. So next up, inside of this bag, we'll always have an HDMI adapter for you. In the case of this MacBook Air, it is, I believe, a Lightning is what this is called, to HDMI. So that will just go right here into the side of your computer, and make sure that that power source is still plugged in. And then we'll always be sending a certain variety of HDMI cable lengths with you for your event. We definitely did some overkill here because, again, we were imagining that your booth would be a fair distance away from the projector. But in this case, we've got a 25-foot, a 40-foot, and a 60-foot HDMI. Let's just go with the shortest one here. We are going to run that cable up and through the scrim of the table into your computer, and then back up and in as well into your projector. So again, you'll just connect this HDMI, boom, into there. That will send your signal from your computer, and then you will take the other end of your HDMI and you will run it in to the input of your projector. Right here. You can do it. There we go. All right. You should see a little response on your computer whenever it does recognize that it's sending its source. It should flash. You should also see, in this case, just a standard Apple background. That is I believe your side monitor. So it's not mirroring the image that's on my computer right now, but it is a side monitor. And you can change that display setting in your display settings of your computer as we go along. We can show you how to do that as well. So, I do want to mention something that came up just a moment ago. As we came back from that time lapse, you saw that the image was gone, that BenQ holding screen was gone. It does time out after a while, so if it's sensing that it's not getting a source, it will save on the lamp life and it'll go into eco mode. Don't let that scare you. All you have to do is hit any of these buttons and it'll come back to life. Okay, we've got our image up here. I'm also going to go ahead and get a video up and running for all of you so that we can see the widescreen format and we can fit our screen with that format. Right now, we're set up so that the screen that's being projected onto is not mirroring this screen. And that's actually how we want it to be. But if you ever turn on this MacBook that we'll send with you and it is actually mirroring, you're going to want to enter into this displays, which you will find on the left-hand side under System Preferences. You'll go into Displays. Click on that, and then you will head to Arrangement, and you'll want to unclick Mirror Displays, because if it was mirroring, this would be clicked. And again, what that does is it makes sure that everything that you see on your screen is being projected. We don't want that, because we want you to be able to to operate some things on your computer without all of the guests seeing. So let's unclick that Mirror Displays, and then it's up to you how you want to orient everything here. Let's see where my mouse is. So this screen with the bar is the actual computer, and the screen without one is your projection screen. So basically, if you hover to the right with your mouse, you're going to be coming up onto the projection screen. And if you hover to your left, you're meeting a wall. So if you would like to change that orientation, it's as simple as dragging this over to here. All right, So we're gonna take this video and we're going to drag it from our main screen, our computer screen, onto the projection screen. We're gonna go ahead and click on File, and then go to, we'll click on View rather, enter full screen. Now, this is our image. This is what we want to play for the audience. So we're gonna wanna fill this screen with this image in a way that's not angled. You can see it's angled right now. So, once again, we make sure that our screen itself is perpendicular to that field of view. It's looking really good to me. The only reason that that's on an angle right now is probably because this projector got nudged at some point. There we go. And now it's going straight on perpendicular. So, image is too small. What are we gonna do? We're gonna back this up. There we go. We're filling the screen. Things are starting to look good. And now at this point, let's see, we're starting to go above the screen. There we go. Okay, so we filled left to right at this point, which is an awesome thing. That's exactly what we want. Unfortunately, as we mentioned before, our top-down camera is sort of inhibiting. So what we're going to do is remove the top-down camera. Stand by. Okay, we've removed our top-down screen, or our top-down video. So we've cleared our headroom, and now we're going to raise up once again until that image is completely on the screen and not spilling off into the ceiling. Things are looking awesome. It's starting to look really good. We've got a little bit to fill on the right side there, a little bit on the left side as well. And now we are filled top and both sides. Solid frame, solid image. Now, the one thing I will say, if you look at that bottom of the screen, it's a little bit angled. So we're gonna wanna make sure that that is more truly horizontal, truly parallel with the bottom of the projector, right? You want this line to be parallel with this line. So everything is oriented straight on, right angles, right? This is a beautiful frame. It looks great. It looks how it's supposed to be. The only thing that needs a little bit of an adjustment is down here. And that's very simple to do. If you have a Fireside team member with you, it's very simple because you can go behind and make the adjustment and say, hey, tell me when this line gets all the way up to here. If you don't, you're gonna have to do some running back and forth from behind to check and quick making adjustments. But since Grant is here with me, I'm gonna ask him, Grant, tell me whenever I raise up and that black bar is gone.
Keep going, little more, little more, little more, keep going, keep going, keep going, a little bit more right there.
Sweet. So you lock her down. And there you go. There's your image. It's perfect. Screen is filled perfectly. There are no black lines. Take that back, just a hair of one right there, which means we need to zoom out just a little bit more. And then, so everyone in your audience is seeing the image to its maximum and its fullest at this distance on this screen. That's what you want to go for. Now, last few things. A lot of our clients will want a cleanup skirt to be on here, so we're gonna go do that really quickly. Here it is, very simple. We've got some Velcro, the soft side already applied to the bottom here. The rough side is on the actual skirt, so it's as simple as attaching one little bit at a time. For whatever reason, Lite, it's the manufacturer of the skirt and of the screen, didn't make them the same size, so just be prepared when we get to the end here, there'll be a little bit of excess. With this little bit of excess, my recommendation would be to take a piece of gaffer's tape. There's actually one already applied here for this use. Just peel that off and put this excess part of the skirt underneath the tape, like so. Okay? There you go, more of a formal look for your presentation. This is it, folks. This is the projection screen with the projector set up in the way that it is meant to be. Now, the only thing that we did not include here is audio. And that's okay for a lot of applications. A lot of times there won't be any audio that accompanies a projection, but a lot of times for presentation videos at weddings, or maybe some sort of senior slideshow at high school dance, there will be at least a song playing, or maybe there'll be somebody who's doing a video testimonial and they'll want to have audio in that. So of course, in that case, you are going to run the audio out of your computer into a speaker. We all know how to set up a speaker. I'm going to do it as quick as I can here, and we are going to put it usually to the left or the right of the projection screen, if you don't already have a sound system. If we have a DJ package already included, we just run it out of the DJ sound system. But in this case, let's pretend like we're just coming here and setting this, this package up just by itself. Speaker is set up. We're going to go ahead and get out our channel mixer that we're going to use to run our XLR out into it, and our either USB or RCA to aux from our computer into the channel mixer. Mackie 8-channel mixer. Great piece of equipment that we're going to use here today. We also utilize them in a lot of situations such as wedding ceremonies. Plug it in with IEC, and then we are going to run our one XLR cable that we ran from our speaker coming out of the right side of this. We're going to make sure that our computer is running everything in mono as well. Go ahead and turn her on. We'll also run this USB neatly out of the back, underneath, and then up and in to your computer. Wonderful. Okay, so something you're going to need to do before you test this out. You need to make sure that your computer is actually sending audio via USB. So we're going to go ahead and show you how that is done. In order to ensure that the music is actually coming out of your USB and not out of your headphone port, you're going to want to go into your system preferences once again and come over to this sound icon. And then it will give you a list of the different sound output options that you have. In this case, we're doing USB audio codec. Perfect. So now, when you start playing your video, you should start seeing a sound output on your mixer. On the mixer, you're going to have input level USB right here. This is the toggle that you're going to want to use in order to turn up the volume of your USB. I'm going to go over and turn on the speaker very quickly. And then we're going to begin to turn this up, and we should start hearing some music. Here we go. Nice. So at this point, your music is good to go. Your video is great. And you can adjust that volume right here with that input level. You're going to want your main volume to be right around U, which stands for unity. You can adjust this here. You can also adjust it on your computer by raising it up in the internal volume button. You can also choose to use RCA. There's a cable for that located inside of this case. I would always opt for USB. But if you do that, you would come out of your headphone port and into your RCA. That's it, folks. This is how you set up a projection screen and a projector with audio for your video presentations on fireside events. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.